Hello and welcome to another Bushwhacker review. Today we are going to be taking a look at Ross Chastain's Caregility Yorktel Chevy from 2021. As always, take a look at the box. You just have the generic Ganassi Racing box. As I said multiple times before, I'm really not a fan of these boxes. They're just way too plain. Got one little Chip Ganassi Racing logo at the bottom, nothing up here, NASCAR Cup Series. Got Chip Ganassi Racing, got to render the car right there, standard finish, Lionel Racing. Made a total of 612 of these things. Standard finish, Chip Ganassi Racing. Down the back, you got Chip Ganassi Racing, 2021, Chip Ganassi Racing, Action Racing Collectibles, and you, of course, have your copyright and such on the bottom of the box. Ross Chastain raced this paint scheme at Talladega in the spring. Kurt Busch also raced a very similar paint scheme this year. I believe Kurt Busch's was like reversed. If I remember correctly, it was like the blue was in the front and the white was in the back, or at least the green and the blue were swapped. Something about it was like different, or maybe it was the fact that I think Yorktel was on the hood and Caregility was on the side of Kurt, where this was reversed. I don't know. Definitely a very cool looking paint scheme. The way you got like the gradient, it like starts with the blue, goes to green, then to white, then the white fades back to green, then back to blue. Really cool looking design. This car actually did pretty well. I remember seeing this car a lot during the race. I believe he led laps in this car too. Definitely really looks good. A very kind of bright and colorful car. If I remember correctly, he stayed clean the whole race and then he got wrecked across the finish line, if I remember correctly. But I'm pretty sure that's how it happened, right? He got like spun. He was like spinning across the finish line and then he like hit the inside wall. I'm pretty sure on the final lap. I'll have to go back and watch to double check on that one, but I'm pretty sure he got wrecked on the final lap like that. This is one of 5 or so 42 cars we're getting this year. They skipped a lot of them, but they did make some of them. Or no, wait, we're only getting 4 because they canceled the solid red, or like the ugly red McDonald's car. But we're getting his Clover, his McDonald's throwback, this, and the Moose car. So we still got a few diecasts this year. I'm curious how many sponsors follow him to Trackhouse. So far, based on his Firestream from the Atlanta test, he at least has Clover, Advent Health, and Moose. I was expecting Advent Health and Moose. I wasn't sure if Clover was going to follow him or not. Seems like McDonald's has gone, which I kind of expected that because they're apparently going to sponsor Kurt this year. Kurt and Bubba. Which, that's still really hilarious to me because they literally went to Larson on the 42 car when Kurt came over for McMurray because McDonald's did not want to sponsor Kurt. They said his like image didn't match or something. And now suddenly they're just sponsoring him. I don't know how the hell that happened. But anyways, let's get down to sponsors. On the hood, you have Caregility, changing the point of care. Got Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Got number 42 and Chip Ganassi Racing. Down the side, you have Yorktel. Got Clover back there. Got McDonald's in front of the rear wheel. Got nothing on the C post. Got McDonald's, Clover, Moose, Cessna, and Caregility on the B post. It's funny, I was looking at this, I'm like, why does that B post look so awkward? And I was like, oh, because Monster Energy would have been right above McDonald's. They can't put that in any of the diecast, but that looks kind of funny. They should just kind of move the B post up a little bit. I don't know. Got Atlas Systems, Siemens, Sherwin-Williams, and Lincoln Welders down there. Got your regular Gatinskis and such. Does have Ross Chastain's name with the little Melon Man logo next to it. Of course, got Chastain's name on the windshield banner. On the back, you have Caregility and Yorktel. Got Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 1LE. Got number 42. Got Okuma on the deck lid. That's a company that constantly bounces around NASCAR. They've been in a lot of RCR cars in the past. You got Yorktel again on the roof. This is number 138. Got the same stuff down the other side as usual. I knew this car was going to screw up my camera sooner or later. Take a look under the hood. See, you got a Chevy bow tie under there. There's the engine detail if you want to see that. Obviously no deck lid. Roof flaps, of course, do open. And there's the underside of the car if you want to see that. Not a whole lot to talk with a car like this. Just like I said, a really good-looking paint scheme. I'm really glad that this one got produced because it's just a really unique-looking paint scheme with that like triple gradient thing going on. This car looked great on track, and I was really surprised they offered this because I said they were really kind of hit or miss with offering Chastain cars this year. Like they offered the Clover McDonald's, which I expected, and then they just like were really random. Like the Moose kind of came out of nowhere, and they offered that. Then this was like a one-off they offered, but then there was a bunch they skipped that they really shouldn't have. like his like McDonald's rewards, his like Fry McDonald's car that he ran at Watkins Glen and then he almost won with at Darlington. Like that one should have been made. That was a really cool looking paint scheme. It's just weird that they like ignored that one. They ignored that one, then they ignored Bubba's new McDonald's car too until he won with it, and then they finally got it made. But those cars were great. He had like that what was it called, the Tubi, the like streaming service car. That car looked fantastic, like orange and purple. I would have bought that one in a heartbeat. He had like a decent looking Chevy accessories car this year. The Moose car had a 911 variant of it. They didn't offer that either. Oh, I don't know if it's just because by the later point of the year, Ganassi's, you know, at that point was already known Trackhouse bought Ganassi, so I don't know if they just didn't want Diecast at that point, but some of them still should have been offered. Pretty much the last Ganassi car Diecast we're going to get is either going to be the Kurt Busch Atlanta win or Chastain's McDonald's throwback. But definitely interested to see what Chastain can do with Trackhouse next year, because Trackhouse is definitely a growing team. Because Ganassi this year was odd. They had like flashes of race-winning speed, and then other races were like 20th. Both Kurt and Chastain. Like, Chastain contended for wins in a couple races, much like, said, the Southern 500 at Darlington. He was up there. He led laps in the spring race, too. So maybe Darlington is kind of one of his, like, best tracks. Well, of course, one of his best tracks. He almost won that race in Xfinity back in the time when he first got in the 42 car for Ganassi. If you want this diecast as a brand new release, you can get it right now. Remember, for all of your diecast needs, you can go to circlebdiecast.com, and if you use the code BWhack, you can get free shipping on any order over $20. So go check that out if you want anything. But I think that's pretty much all there is to say. This has been a review of Ross Chastain's Caregility Yorktel Chevy from 2021. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.